Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're building something really crucial, piece by piece. It's a comprehensive understanding of student financial support and aid. So if you're thinking about higher education, maybe you're already enrolled, or perhaps looking to, advance your learning, navigating the whole financial side of things, well, it's like laying the foundation for your academic dreams, isn't it? And the rising cost of education. It can feel, frankly, like trying to engineer a skyscraper on shifting sand dunes. A bit overwhelming. But the good news is, with the right knowledge, you absolutely can construct a solid plan. Our mission today is basically to give you the blueprint for that. Okay, let's unpack this. Let's start with the absolute cornerstone, the foundation of student funding. Federal student aid, this is often the main source of support for so many students, and it really all kicks off with one pivotal form. But it's more than just filling out a form, right? What's the real impact, maybe the underestimated impact of the FFSA, the free application for federal student aid?
Yeah, that's a great point. A critical insight I think that often gets missed about the FAFSA is that many families, even those you might think have higher incomes, they mistakenly believe they just won't qualify for any federal aid at all. They don't always realize the FAFSA looks at a whole bunch of factors, not just income. Things like, family size, assets, even how many siblings are in college concurrently. And these factors can really shift your eligibility for aid quite a bit. So its importance, yeah, it really can't be overstated. It's your gateway, not just to federal grants, which are fantastic, basically free money you don't pay back, but also to work-study programs and, crucially, federal student loans. And those federal loans almost always offer, well, much better terms than private options.
Okay, so the big takeaway here, the actionable thing is fill out the FAFSA. Just do it. Even if you're thinking, oh, my income's too high, you might be surprised. But you mentioned it unlocks other possibilities, too, beyond just the federal stuff. Is that right?
Exactly, yeah. And this brings up a really important point. The FAFSA isn't just for federal money. Many state financial aid programs and even scholarships directly from universities, they require a completed FAFSA to even consider you. So even if federal aid isn't maybe your main target, it's still often that first essential step to access a much wider pool of funding. And for anyone planning ahead, say for the 2025-2026 academic year, remember to create your FSA ID, that's your unique username and password, to get into the federal student aid websites and sign your FAFSA electronically. Do that well in advance. And get your documents ready, tax returns, bank statements, things like that. Parents, keep in mind you'll need to provide your information too. All detailed guides, all the resources, they're right there on the official federal student aid website, studentaid.gov. Very helpful.
Okay, got it. So once you've laid that strong federal foundation with the FESO, what's the next layer, which we look at adding next? This is where, I guess, the world of scholarships and grants comes in. People often call this gift aid, right?
Yeah.
Money you truly don't have to repay. It's like putting the sturdy roof on our financial aid structure.
Absolutely. And if we connect this to the bigger picture, scholarships, yeah, they can come from such diverse places, your university, obviously, but also private organizations, community groups, specific companies, even certain fields of study. Now, the big name scholarships, they get a lot of attention, but here's an insight that's often overlooked. It's the power of applying for lots of smaller niche scholarships, the ones in the $500 to maybe $2,000 range. These often have fewer people applying, which means, well, your odds might be better, higher success rates. And added together, those smaller amounts can really make a dent in your overall cost. They add up.
That's a fantastic tip. So for listeners starting that scholarship hunt, what kind of unique things about themselves should they be thinking about? Their background, interests? Are there surprising scholarship categories out there?
Definitely. Think way beyond just grades. Academics are important, sure, but there are scholarships for almost everything imaginable. Your extracurriculars, community service you've done, specific hobbies, your heritage. I've even heard of scholarships for being left-handed or for writing about, some really specific niche topic. So good places to start looking include reputable websites like FINAE.org and College Board's Big Future. Those are solid resources. And also don't forget to check your university's financial aid office directly. Many of them keep their own databases of scholarships, institutional ones. But here's a key strategy, maybe a pro tip. Pay really close attention to those application deadlines and all the requirements. So many scholarships need essays, letters of recommendation, maybe specific portfolios of work. You've got to give yourself plenty of time. Don't rush it. Put together a strong, polished application. Rushing is a common pitfall, honestly.
That makes sense. Avoid the last-minute scramble. Okay, so even with really diligent scholarship searching, the reality for a lot of students is that this gift aid alone might not cover everything. So when there's still a gap, and after you've really thought about what you need, student loans can become, well, a necessary part of the plan. But you have to approach them strategically, right? Like the supporting beams in our financial structure. What's the absolute most crucial thing students need to get straight when it comes to borrowing?
Okay, what's absolutely vital here, yes, is understanding the difference between federal and private student loans. It's huge. Federal student loans. These are generally the way to go first if you need to borrow. Why? Because they usually have flexible repayment plans, fixed interest rates, which is a big deal, and really important borrower protections. Things like deferment or forbearance, which basically mean you can temporarily pause or reduce your payments if you hit, certain kinds of financial hardship. Private loans, on the other hand, the ones from banks or credit unions, they often come with variable interest rates. Those rates can go up over time, costing you more. And they offer far fewer protections for the borrower. So if you do end up considering private loans, it is absolutely imperative that you read everything, understand all the terms and conditions inside out before you sign anything.
Gotcha. So the golden rule seems pretty clear. Borrow only what you absolutely need. Don't just take the maximum offered, because every single dollar you borrow is a dollar you have to pay back, right? Usually with interest tacked on. So that means careful budgeting, a realistic look at what you might earn after graduation. Well, thinking about loans, beyond just borrowing less, is there a key insight about how long interest works that students often miss? Something that can really impact the total amount they repay.
That's a very perceptive question. Yes. A critical insight, I think, that's often missed is really understanding how interest accrues on your specific loan, how it adds up. For example, with unsubsidized federal loans, a common type interest starts piling up right away, from the moment the money is dispersed, even while you're still in school or during grace periods after you graduate but before repayment starts. So what does that mean? It means delaying payments even by a bit or letting that interest capitalize. Capitalize means the accrued interest gets added back onto your principal loan amount. That can significantly increase your total debt over time. It can turn what seemed like a manageable loan into something much, much bigger down the road. Tools like the Student Aid Index or SAI calculator on finaid.org can be helpful here. The SAI basically helps estimate your financial need considering your family situation. It replaced the old EFC, the expected family contribution, on the newer FAFSA forms. Using tools like that can give you a better estimate of your potential aid and, importantly, how much you might actually need to borrow.
Right. Understanding that capitalization piece sounds absolutely crucial. It's like compound interest working against you if you're not careful. Okay, let's also touch briefly on work-study programs. How do these fit into the overall financial aid picture, our structure?
Sure. So if you qualify for federal work study, and that's determined by your FAFSA, it basically allows you to earn money to help cover educational expenses. You do this through part-time work, and often the jobs are right there on campus, which is convenient. These jobs are specifically designed to be flexible, to work around your class schedule. Plus, they can provide really valuable work experience for your resume, all while helping you reduce how much you might need to borrow in loans. So it's a great way to actively chip in towards your education costs. Definitely check with your university's financial aid office, see if you're eligible and what kinds of positions they have available.
Yeah, earn while you learn, basically. Seems like a win-win. Okay, finally, let's talk about something maybe less tangible, but just as important, financial literacy. This isn't just about getting the money, is it? It's about managing it effectively, making sure that financial structure we've built stays strong long term. What's maybe one of the biggest blind spots you see students having when it comes to actually managing their aid once they've got it?
That's a great final point. A really common blind spot I find is failing to truly understand their entire financial aid package. Not just the, oh, I got this much money part, but how each piece, grants, scholarships, loans, work, study, how each component actually functions over time. Things like understanding your loan repayment terms before you graduate, tracking your expenses against a budget, even a simple one, just actively managing your financial well-being. It's just as crucial as actually securing the aid in the first place. Lots of universities offer resources, maybe financial literacy workshops or online tools. Take advantage of them. Learning this stuff now really sets you up for success long, long after you graduate. It's about turning that initial investment in education into sustainable financial growth for your future.
Absolutely. Building those good habits early. So the journey through higher education, it really is an incredible investment in your future. A complex structure, sure, but so rewarding to build. And while the money side of it can seem, pretty daunting, just remember, you are not alone in this. There are tons of resources out there to support you. By proactively laying that federal aid foundation, diligently building upwards with scholarships and grants, and being really strategic about placing those necessary loan beams, you absolutely can build a solid financial structure for your academic dreams.
Mm-hmm. So what does this all really mean at the end of the day? While we've hopefully given you a good blueprint today for finding student aid, maybe consider this. The real mastery isn't just in getting the money, it's in managing it wisely, making that investment truly work for you, long after graduation. So maybe the question to ponder is, what does financial independence really look like for you beyond just paying off tuition bills? And how will you ensure that this investment you're making now pays off for decades, becoming a real lasting asset in your life?
That's a powerful thought to end on. And that is all for this deep dive. We really hope this conversation has empowered you with the knowledge and maybe some confidence to navigate this crucial part of your education. Keep learning, keep growing, and keep being